was one lesson you learned from Mayor Dinkins? Can you tell us what main lesson was?
Thank you for asking, Juan Manuel. The power of love. He really loved people. He loved children in particular, and he would always show children that. He would show them they were loved. I remember when he was around groups of kids, particularly kids of color, he would say to them, you know you can be mayor. You know, he had become mayor. He would tell them, you can become mayor too. I mean, he really was trying to encourage them. And, you know, he would try and treat people with love even when they were treating him with hate. So I think what I remember is his extraordinary ability to summon the love he felt and put that forward no matter what was thrown at him. Go ahead. Juan Manuel?
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, so this morning on the radio, Mr. Mayor, you said that when we get into December, we're going to start working to reopen our schools. Can you clarify if that means that you're going to start the process of thinking how to reopen schools in the city, or that you're really going to start reopening a specific number of schools in the month of December?
Yeah. Juan Manuel, I spoke to this yesterday. I'm going to say it again. We're going to be in an orange zone in December. The orange zone rules for opening schools are clear. They're very stringent, but we can meet that standard. It's going to take a lot of work. And as I said, parents are going to have to be really involved, but we can do it. We're going to start with the special education schools, the District 75 schools, work our way up, pre-K, 3K, and elementary. It's going to take a lot of work that we've never had to do on this level before, so we're going to be shifting a lot of testing resources over. But we will keep reopening schools, and we want to fight back this second wave, and especially as we fight it back successfully, we'll be able to speed up that process. Go ahead.
The next is Matt Chase from Newsday.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Mayor. How are you?
Good, Matt. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I wanted to ask you briefly about David Dinkins. Can you discuss his legacy with regards to the Crown Heights riots?
Yeah, it's so interesting, Matt, that you say that, because just yesterday I was in Crown Heights, just by sheer coincidence, doing something that really I know David Dinkins would have loved, which is, you know, providing the support to open a new educational facility for Medgar Evers Prep, for a wonderful high school that is there on the campus, is now going to have the kind of home it deserves. And Richard Green was there, one of the heroes of the years after those horrible days in 1991, when the community in the years after found its way together again. People of different backgrounds really worked hard. I want to say every community participated in Crown Heights, and Richard Green was one of the great leaders of that reconciliation. So it was so interesting. He was there yesterday, and I greeted him, and I think back on the pain of those times, Matt. It was a very, very difficult time, and it was a real perfect storm for sure, how that all happened. But I also think there is a heroic story that has not been told of what people in the community did thereafter and brought a unity to Crown Heights today that is actually affirming of what people can do when they overcome their divisions. Go ahead, Matt.
On another topic, last night in your interview with Errol Lewis, you said that you're going to be checking on people constantly, and this was a quote, and if people don't follow the quarantine, there will be substantial financial penalties, and we're going to make that very vivid. So my question is, how will enforcers decide whom to check in on among those returning from out-of-town travel?
Well, I'll start, and I'll see if the sheriff wants to add. The idea here is, or Dr. Long may want to add as well, the idea here is it's quite clear that you have to fill out that traveler form, that the only way to not participate in quarantine is to follow the state rules. And do the testing before you come back and the testing after you come back. But if you don't do that and you don't succeed with that, you have to be in quarantine. And so what we're making very clear is we're going to be constantly monitoring people, and if they're not in quarantine when they're supposed to be, we have to apply penalties. This is not, this is not a drill. This is not a test. This is the real thing, what's bearing down on us, and we have to be stringent about it.